Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first Diogenes live stream on YouTube.com. How long I do this and whether I do this again will depend on if anyone actually shows up. Because, I don't really feel like streaming to nobody. It's not really my idea of a good time, but that's that out of the way. So, the plan for today, we are at the very least going to be doing messenger speedruns. That's baseline. That's no matter what happens, we are going to be doing speedruns of this game for a little while. If depending on what happens within the next couple hours or so, if this stream gets a little more engagement, I might do some more. I might do some Toree 3D runs. If you check the videos on my channel, you'll see I have the record in Toree 3D any percent with Tasty. That record is kind of unoptimized, so I was thinking maybe I could go and optimize it at some point. And then if the stream continues to get some people watching it, some people in chat maybe, then maybe I will then play some Pinball FX for a little bit. It'll really depend on what happens. But no matter what, I am going to be doing messenger speedruns. So, speaking of that, I guess we might as well get the first one started here. I already have my stopwatch open. So, for those that haven't checked, maybe people got recommended this stream randomly at some point. What I'm doing is the speedrun I'm doing in this game is 8-bit, no out of bounds, new game plus. The other two were pretty self-explanatory, but 8-bit might be a little harder to explain. 8-bit is from the first level in the game, which is Ninja Village, all the way to the end of Tower of Time. After that the game switches styles from an 8-bit style to a 16-bit style. And the run ends after you beat the final boss in the Tower of Time. So with that out of the way, now that I'm depending if anyone comes in, I might have someone asking me what exactly I'm doing. So I don't mind explaining myself again if I have to. But right now we're just doing some speed runs. That's all you really need to know. Trying to play the game as fast as I possibly can. And with that being said, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So first thing you might notice when you click on the stream is that this isn't really like your typical speed running stream. Mainly, I don't capture the game directly, and I don't have splits on the side. It's honestly just a limitation. I don't really have like some people may have like a reason for it, but this is just the setup that I knew I could already have, I could already use. So that's what we're doing here. So this is Ninja Village. This is the first level in the game. Not much really happens here. It's mostly just cutscenes. But you'll see what I'm doing is I'm trying to use my hook shot, or rope dart as it's called in this game, to latch on to as many things as possible. Walls, lanterns, enemies. trying to use my rope dart as liberally as possible. And this is because when you rope dart something in this game, you get a little boost that is faster than your normal movement speed, which is why you'll see me doing this as much as I possibly can. But like I said, Ninja Village is mostly just cutscenes. A lot of runners even use like a modified save file to start the run at the beginning of this next level here, which is Autumn Hills. Autumn Hills is a bit more interesting. It's still not the most interesting level in the run. It doesn't really have a whole lot of super interesting skips. It's mostly just movement. As you'll see, I'm just kind of using my rope dart, killing as many enemies with it as I can to get those little boosts of speed. And like, even if it may seem slower at some points to latch onto, to go out of your way to latch onto a wall, it's still usually faster. Got hit there. That happens pretty often. The window to rope dart that fire kappa without getting hit is pretty precise. I'm gonna try to make the platform cycle. I did, just barely. So this is our first swimming section of the run. There aren't very many of these. I think there's only a few. But you'll see that if I can move straight, I'm just going to be dashing forward. As you can imagine, that's the fastest way of moving through the water. You don't typically get this upgrade until a little bit later in the game, but since this is NG+, we have everything to start with. Now, this is the first trick in the run. It's called Blue Steel in the community. So what I just did there is when you boost out of the water, you maintain the speed you had from the water dash in the air, as long as you aren't touching the ground. We can use that by slashing enemies in the air to maintain that speed until the end of that next room. You also see me do something called rope dart mashing, which by rope darting a wall and jumping at a specific rhythm, you can climb walls really fast. It's has a pretty specific rhythm, so you won't see me always get a good rope dart mash, but it's there. Yeah, it is faster than climbing walls normally. We're going to go in here and we're going to get the windmill shuriken, which in the regular game you only get after beating the game 100%, getting all these green seal things found throughout the world. But the windmill shuriken is very powerful for us, both in combat and in movement. You'll see that I throw 3 and then I jump as I slash this boss here. That's because the windmill shuriken does a lot of damage on top of your regular slashes, especially on these early game bosses where you weren't really intended to do that. So you'll see me use that throughout the game to kill bosses really quickly, hopefully. You can also use it for movement. You'll see me throughout the run using my windmill shuriken that hit enemies. And when you hit an enemy in this game, because of a particular upgrade you would normally get later, you can jump in the air. You also see that like little bit of like air, that little bit of like wind under the ninja. That happens because whenever you hit anything, whether it's with your sword, with your rope dart, or with a windmill shuriken, you can get a jump. You'll see me abuse this throughout the game to do a lot of rooms a lot faster than intended. And I'm going to try to skip a crusher cycle here, but it's pretty tight. Okay, I didn't quite get it. That's only like, it's not a big deal. That's only like a second or two in that case. Still don't think I have any viewers. Now, what I just did there is normally if you land on the ground, a cutscene happens and you have to fight a wave of enemies before being let into the next room. However, that trigger is lower than when you enter the room. So you can use some windmill shurikens and a rope dart on that lantern to be able to skip that combat. We just barely got that crusher cycle. There are two patterns that Ruxton can give us here. There's a good pattern and a bad pattern. The bad pattern loses, I think, about 10 seconds or something like that in comparison to the good pattern. Hopefully I get the good pattern. I did not. Okay. That may sound like a lot, but I can still PB even with the bad pattern. Okay, we did end up getting a top kill there. Sometimes what will happen is that you go up there and yeah, you don't kill the boss while he's up there. He'll teleport again and you'll have to do a few more hits. Just realized that the way I'm recording this, my angle is not very good. So yeah, you can also do the windmill shuriken attack on that NPC there. Pretty solid run so far. What you just saw happen there is that if you jump on a tile, you can still, like, I don't know, I was pretty good at commentary at the beginning, but I'm also trying to focus on the run because this is actually pretty good so far. I guess it's not the worst angle in the world. Like, I think you can still, hopefully you can still make out what's going on. Hopefully. Don't like getting hit there, but whatever. See, I did a, okay. that was a really good save. You see, I did another one of those one tile jumps to save myself there. That was not intentional. I think that was like my first major movement mistake this run, which is pretty good. And it's weird because that's usually not a room I like struggle with. So here's Emerald Golem. What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to beat this fight in one cycle, but it's really precise. The window that you have is really precise. So almost. I think it was like I was probably like a hit or two off. Yeah. Dang. See, I used some very quick rope darts, slashes, and windmill shurikens to kill the second phase of that fight very quickly. Usually that phase takes a bit longer than that. But because of all that we have in our arsenal, we can just melt that phase. I'm just focusing now because this is actually a pretty good run. Besides the bad Rugston pattern and missing the one cycle, this is a really good run. That's really precise. Getting that room so where you don't have to take a second damage boost is really tight. It is possible. It does save a couple seconds, but it's also really tight. I did miss the cycle there, but that was. That room was really fast, so makes up for it, I suppose. That was a really good fight. Holy shit. That was an insanely good fight. By my standards, at least. So this is what I like to call the gauntlet, the last 3 levels of the run here, because the movement is a lot crazier and there's a lot more small tricks where you can. There's 3 big strats in this level, and they're all. Okay, I got that one first try. I did another one of those one tile jumps, but yeah, it's mainly that the movement here is really precise. I'm just gonna take that because you really lose no time when going out of your way to get it. Missed that though. That I'm not too thrilled about. So I got 2 out of 3 Searing Crags tricks, so I'll take it. Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh, that could have been way worse. probably don't need to do. Could have been worse, I suppose. Ooh, god damn it. Okay. Pretty bad glacial peak so far, but oh well, we have the rest of the level. Bruh. Okay. This is not very good. That was pretty good. Pretty. Oh, I forgot the rope dart there. Pretty good. I've just been vibing this run. I don't know. Nope. Okay, you know what?